welcome to the Non-Binary Show. I'm Mika and I'm non-binary.
I'm Sam and I'm bisexual.
We've been going out for less than a year and we're already getting married.
And that means there's a lot we still don't know about each other.
So each episode we pick a different topic and have an honest conversation.
Today, coming out stories.
But first, some news.
Alright, so we are kind of going to try and do this every Monday.
Yeah.
This is the part of the podcast where we share bits of news that we found in the week.
Yeah.
And this one that I found has to be like the best thing, like bad karma really coming to bite you in the ass. Such a good story.
It's justice.
So, listeners, if you don't know, Mika is Lithuanian.
Unfortunately. Sometimes I really want to hide that fact. Especially now.
I've got an article here from Pink News. Vile Lithuanian MEP expelled from parliamentary group after calling LGBT plus people perverts.
Oh, and worse. But
And
I'm
worse.
not going to translate those. Just usual
Okay,
shit.
you might need to read this guy's name for me.
Viktoras Uspaskichas. So he is actually not pure Lithuanian.
Yeah,
That might came out wrong.
I
He's
believe
not-
he was born in Russia.
The thing is, he is Russian. He lives in Lithuania. He might have been born in Lithuania, but we have this thing from history and stuff, like people from Russia, because we were in a united thing. We were all this one country.
Yeah,
So Russians came to live in Lithuania
Yeah.
at some point. And a lot of Russians still don't speak Lithuanian. So this guy, when he speaks Lithuanian, he has very thick accent.
yeah.
Very thick Russian accent. And he was in our parliament for a while.
Yeah.
He had his own like party, like Tories and that
Yeah.
kind of a party.
Yeah.
It's Labour Party.
Yeah, it says that here.
Yeah. And at one point he was, I think he was out of the parliament. I'm not sure, but I think he was out of the parliament at the time. He wasn't in. And he had his own like factories or something. Yeah, he had his own pickle factory.
I love that they'll just let anybody join politics.
Oh, trust me. So while doing that, he paid people with like untaxed money. So he's basically were committing tax fraud.
Yeah.
And Lithuania was chasing him. Like, they want to prosecute him for that. And he was hiding in, I don't remember which country, but he was hiding away at some point. And now, a few years later, I hear this, and I'm like, how did he get to the European Parliament?
Yeah.
How? So, carry on then.
Okay.
Tell us what happened.
Okay, so apparently on the 10th of January, he made a Facebook Live video. And apparently he said this: today, in some European countries, it is dangerous to say that you are a representative of natural orientation. It has already become dangerous. Referring to LGBT plus people as deviants, he continued, content warning.
Yeah.
Most of these people do not advertise, but those who put their dick under a skirt and go into the street and shout, they are perverts, and such things must not be tolerated. When they asked him to make an explanation, like, what the fuck did you just say? Apparently he either blamed it on the fact that Lithuanian is not his first language, or there were errors in the translation.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
so
wasn't-
he got some words wrong, apparently.
So I've read Lithuanian version what he said.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what he said. So there's no...
Typical.
Like, it's even worse in Lithuanian than it's translated. I
Yeah.
think there was more. And it's just... It's not okay.
So Pink News have said this. However, he also doubled down on his homophobia by insisting he had the right to criticise those he views as perverts. I specifically pointed out that I'm not referring to people who are naturally given a different orientation by nature, and I speak of those who scream loudly and lead a perverted way of life.
So the thing is, they asked him to apologize.
Yeah.
And he kind of didn't want to. But after a bit, he still wrote an apology, but it wasn't enough. Because it's actually very good so people see that, in Lithuania especially, that it's not okay to say these things.
Yeah.
Because there's a big percentage of people who still like that. Unfortunately. Like I'm not saying it's all bad. There are a lot of people who are queer. There are a lot of people who are not that bad like he is.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are way more that are bad.
Yeah.
Like still viewing queer people as bad.
This is coming from a guy who sold magic water that could apparently cure COVID.
So this came out a few weeks ago, and I forgot to tell you about it.
This came out on the 27th of December.
Yeah. It's a while ago.
Uspaskich, is that right? Kich. Uspaskich. Victor started advertising mineral water that can be bought via a network of individuals across the country. He claims that the water improves the immune system and
it's MLM scam.
Improves the immune system and protects against COVID-19. These statements have been condemned by politicians, medics, various officials, as well as by his own party members. The company selling the water is mainly owned by his children.
Yeah. He's just
a con man.
He is a con. He was always a con. I don't know. He's been there for like 20 years around the parliament somewhere, always there. He's just he found a party. He was the founder of it, I think.
Yeah.
It's just.
Point is though, he's gone from the European Parliament, and that is a good thing.
I think it's a good thing to show other Lithuanian and all other people from different countries that it's not okay. Yeah. And I know that a lot of people from Lithuania saying that, oh, he's good for showing that it's not okay for us to be pushed. A lot of straight people, homophobic people say that they're suppressed now because they can't say their opinion. But hate speech is not an opinion. And they need to understand that for once. That hating is not an opinion. Don't be sad.
I know, just like a lot of the time though, I do feel bad for you that the place where you come from still isn't free. Yeah. Really. And I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to look into past trauma now.
Well, I have two so as you know, I'm non-binary and I'm gay. So first I found out that I'm gay.
Yeah.
And then I found out my gender. There's a bunch of memes about that.
Yeah.
So
one today.
Do you want me to start? Then you go and then I go again about the other coming out.
Maybe.
So the first coming out.
Okay, so Mika, how did you know that you didn't like men?
I didn't know that much. Like, I do like men, but not in that way. Because when you say you don't like men, people would assume that I hate men.
Let me rephrase that then. How did you know that you were attracted to people with vaginas?
Oh, thanks. Now it makes me look shallow. So, as I remember, when I was like 11, 12, there was this show on the telly. It was like The Way to the Stars. It was singing competition.
Yeah.
It's like a Big Brother. They used to live together, practice, vote each other out. And then when they vote each other out, they they go on a stage. There's like a live thing on the Saturday. It's like the whole hour of them singing songs, and then people decide who gets kicked out. And there was this singer I liked.
What was her name?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, why?
Just in case.
Why?
I don't know. I don't want to say it, just in case.
You're getting red.
I know. Shut up.
Mika, you're blushing.
Shut up. I thought at first that, I in general like people singing, like music and stuff. So I thought it's just something, like, I really like her. Like, some people just have, like, fangirling about some people, right? But then I started to have dreams. There weren't like bad dreams. They weren't like sexual or something because I was only like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But there were dreams that I'm like close with her and stuff, and not the most in a friendly way, but more like that. But I still, because I didn't know what gay is
Yeah.
back then, so I didn't pay attention to that. It was like weird, and when you get a crush on someone, and you just can't forget about them. And you don't know where to put yourself, basically. You don't know what to do with yourself, like that kind of, and it's always in your mind and that kind of thing. I had that about her. But of course she was on telly and I would never meet her. But still, like, and I didn't understand it at the time. And like through the years, I had like best friends and stuff and like little crushes here and there. But again, I didn't understand what they meant. I thought that's how friends feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I started dating boys first, because that's the way you do it, because that's how your parents tell you to do and stuff. So when I started dating, I've noticed that my the way I feel about guys are less than I feel about my friends, girls.
Yeah.
From the past as well, like from all those times. And again, because I don't know what gay is at the time, I didn't understand what's wrong, and I kept trying and dating people. Just like, the longest I've been with a guy was like 6 months. That's the longest I've been with a guy.
Right.
It wasn't like living or anything, we're just dating. But after 6 months, I'm like fed up, and like, I just, because to me it was, I always enjoyed talking to guys because we always share something.
Yeah.
Because I'm more like Mask, so I like things like cars and computers and games. Not all Mask people like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's what I liked. And of course, a lot of guys like those things as well. So I met some guys like that, and I was in uni studying IT, so a lot of people there were guys. And I was friendly with them, and again, I found this guy, we hit it off and all that. But when it gets to the point where the dating stuff begins, I didn't like that, I didn't enjoy that. And at the time, I was feeling guilty for, like, leading them on, and, like, for, like, dragging that. Because at the point where we're supposed to be a couple, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what the hell is going on? So the last guy I was with, I just broke it off. And I was like, that's it. So we broke up, and because I was still in uni, we seen each other a lot, and like there was like after school things as well.
Yeah.
So we kind of get close together again, and then again I was so, like, it was so good because he was a good friend. And we had a lot in common, but he still liked me. He was attracted to me, but I wasn't. So because he was attracted to me, I felt guilty that I just want to be his friend, and like I didn't mean anything to happen. It's just, and then again I just decided that I can't even be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like most of the time I've just felt guilty for breaking guys' hearts, basically.
You shouldn't feel guilty about that, though.
And after that, I was just, you know what, I'm done. So the first coming out, basically, was to myself.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was just, because I was pushing myself to be quote-unquote normal, I didn't tell myself that I'm gay. I don't know if I knew that I'm gay, to be honest. I didn't know, like, honestly, I didn't know what's happening with me. I was just like, something's wrong, but I don't know what. And then we moved to the city with my parents. I was around 19 back then. So I had a crush on my uni friend, girl. She was a girl. And again, I just thought we were friends, but it was more intense than my feelings for that guy.
Yeah.
So it was just so confusing. It was just like, what the hell is going on? So I broke things with him, and I started to like look into that. And of course I got the internet and stuff, and YouTube. and I think I came across. I wasn't like looking exactly, like wasn't googling why I'm not. It just happened.
Yeah.
Like I came across Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came across one of her show clips, and I was like, oh,
As in the sitcom Ellen, not her chat show.
Her chat show.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, on YouTube, just one of her clips.
Yeah.
Someone, like, maybe on Facebook, like, something happened. She's popular. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this woman, she looks very interesting. Like,
Ah.
gay. Like, I had already had a gaydar.
Yeah.
It was already there. You could tell. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And then I watched few videos of her. I was like, okay, just move on. And for a few months, I didn't look into that.
Mm.
And then one time, it was quite late, and I was just couldn't sleep and stuff, and I was just doing something. And I went down the rabbit hole of Ellen. And I started looking at her chat show first, like her monologues and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I came across I think it was it was People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
I think. It was like a whole, like there are a lot of people talking about her. And they showed a bit of a puppy episode of her sitcom show.
I love the puppy episode.
Yeah, we watched it recently as well. And I was like, that was my discovery, basically.
Yeah.
I watched that. I started watching from the puppy episode through the whole 5th season.
Yeah.
And I was just, you know what, fuck it, I'm gay to myself. And I was just, I was going to the uni by bus and stuff. And I was just sitting there and checking out girls just because I can.
Oh.
And I was just sitting like arms crossed and just like, I'm gay to myself.
Was it kind of felt like having a secret superpower?
Kinda, yeah. Like no one knows I'm gay. Yeah. But
It's kind of sweet.
It was a bit of a relief for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So after a bit, I cut my hair short. And that was the euphoria. I felt like I actually felt myself, but that will be the second part. So the coming out to parents and other people stuff.
Yeah.
That's like the story we should be telling, basically. But for me, the biggest part was the coming out for myself.
Yeah.
But I never came out to my parents properly.
I didn't really either.
I brought a girl home, and they had to figure out the rest.
To be honest, that's how it is for a lot of gay people. Just bring home the person that you have suddenly started a relationship with.
Yeah. Yeah, so now you can go, I think.
When I was 12, a girl that I thought was my friend in school, she started a rumour that I was gay. And I don't know why she did that.
Yeah.
But it got round to the whole school. And at the time, I thought, no, that's not true. I'm just not like... So I was quick to deny it every time someone shouted at me in the corridor or something, you lesbo or whatever. Yeah. Basically, I didn't shake it off for like 4 years. And even this knob that I went out with, who was a guy, this knob used to put his feelings aside for me and call me lesbian.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. And I think he might have been tapped in the head, to be honest.
Probably.
But then again, so was I, because we actually did start going out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It was still kind of in the back of my mind that, hang on, is there some part of me that does like girls? But growing up, I was always told that it was very black and white. It was either gay or straight. There was no in between. So I knew that I liked boys. I like men, but having these feelings for girls at the same time, it just confused me more than anything. And I'm like, no, this is all wrong. It's just gonna go. It's just a phase. I'm just gonna plow through. I like men. That's it, right? Cut to, I'm about 18, and I've started going out with this guy. We were together 7 years. We were both very happy for a long time. And then about 3 years into it, we start watching How I Met Your Mother. And there is a bit of a running joke through this show that the character Lily is slightly bisexual. They call it bisexual tendencies. That is their word for it in the show. Because she kind of stops mid train of thought and slowly thinks about Robin in a sexual way.
Spoiler alert, she did say a few times that she would like still would like to explore that part of her.
Yeah.
Because she was with Marshall.
Yeah.
And they were very happy, but she never explored that part
Yeah,
of her.
which was exactly my situation. And I told my boyfriend that. That's when he started using the word bisexual. And he said, everything you just told me, you sound bisexual. He had used that word for the first time with me. And then suddenly it just hit me. I'm like, oh my God, these feelings I've had for years have a word.
Yeah.
It has a name. And I've like suddenly a weight been lifted on my shoulders. I started crying my eyes out. That was euphoria.
Yeah.
You know how that feels. So I actually said his name. I'm bisexual. And just to get used to how the word felt in my head. And he goes, guess what? I know. And so he was really supportive, like straight away. So a couple of weeks after I realised that, I put it on Facebook and told my sister. When I told her, she actually said, to be honest, I thought you were just going to come out as full-on gay one day.
So, stereotypical thing that you did cut your hair short, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was it that time when you came out as bi, or was it after?
Oh, no, I cut my hair about 2 years afterwards.
Oh, so you weren't short-haired yet?
No.
Why do people think you're a lesbian? Because, you know, stereotypically, when people cut their hair short, people say, oh, you look like a lesbian. But with the long hair, you were very queer as a person, maybe.
No, because growing up, I was very tomboyish. I like, similar to you, I kind of got along with boys more than girls.
Yeah.
Because girls in school are just bitches.
Yeah, most of them.
So I just ended up being friends with a lot of lads. Even though I liked boys as well at the same time. So nobody really saw past that. And I guess that's how the rumour started.
Could be,
yeah. But yeah, like I was telling you today, I always loved playing with sticks in the park. You called me a dog today for that. But I used to like playing swords and football and stuff with my dad. I was a very tomboyish kid. We used to watch football together.
So, she doesn't know anything about football.
I don't know anything about football. I really don't. I was more into the fact that he had a lot of football shirts in his drawers. And I used to get them all out whenever there was a football match on. And I used to put them on the cushions in the living room. Aww. So it would look like we were all watching football together.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then about 5 minutes in, my dad gets angry that his team is losing, and I just walk off because I can't handle that negative energy.
so queer.
Yeah.
So you were saying that you came out to your sister and all that?
Yeah, and for a year, she was the only one in the family that knew. Mm-hmm. Because as soon as she said that thing about, like, I thought you were going to come out as a full-on gay. That was her that was her actual words. She drops me off back home because she used to drive me home from work. And she said to me in the car before I got out, you really shouldn't tell Mum this. You should keep this. Tell her on a deathbed.
Yeah.
Take it to your grave. Yeah.
Which is not the greatest thing to say.
Not really.
But I guess we all have to learn things. Like you can't blame people for reacting in certain ways. But she could have done it better.
Yeah. But I knew what she meant though.
Yeah.
Living at home still with my parents, it really got to me. Because it felt like I was having this secret and I wasn't happy going back to that house every day after work. I wasn't happy anymore. So I moved out. I moved in with my partner at the time. And that was why I moved out, basically.
Really? Just because of that? Mostly because of
that.
Oh, wow, okay.
Don't get me wrong, I did love him at the time.
Yeah.
But that was the main reason that I physically couldn't go back to that house having this secret. And it was easier for me to move out than to tell her.
Yeah.
But I saw on Facebook that my 1 year anniversary of me coming out was coming up. And I kept telling myself, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it on that day. And I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go to her house. So I texted her instead. I came out to my mum over text. And I was like, something like, if I had something important to tell you, would you want me to tell it to you in person, or could I text it to you? Mm-hmm. And she said, are you pregnant? No, I'm bisexual.
That's interesting.
Do you want to know what she said back? Yeah, right. And then I had to ring her and I said, is that really all you can say? And she said, well, it's not ideal, but I guess it's something I'm going to have to put up with.
Aye.
Yeah, but that was basically the whole atmosphere for about 2 years. And then I had to move back home. And when I knew that I had to move back home, I didn't let her leave my flat until we had talked about this. I sat her down and said, we need to talk. I am your daughter. I am moving back home. Am I going to feel at home? Am I going to feel accepted if I'm in your house every day? And that's when she explained that it was her upbringing that makes her feel like that. And I completely understand that, coming from the background that she does.
She is not a bad person.
No, she just grew up like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I understand other people who feel that way too.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason that she feels like it's not important is because I was with a man.
Yeah.
Because for all intents and purposes, I look straight.
Yeah.
Then I brought you home. And now suddenly she had to deal with it. She had to finally come to terms with it, because now I look gay. There's no in between. As a bi person, you either look straight or you look gay. Everyone's going to judge you.
She did very well putting up, quote unquote, with this now.
Yeah, I'm actually very proud of her.
I didn't feel any hate from her when I met her.
Yeah.
She did so well, and I'm sure it was hard for her. And it's really nice that she was very welcoming, and we spent Christmas together. We celebrated her birthday. She invited me to go to Blackpool for her birthday.
Yeah.
We couldn't celebrate properly because of lockdowns and stuff, and it was like in between lockdowns.
Yeah.
It was in October. But she invited me with all of you to go to Blackpool and at least have dinner.
Yeah.
Together.
I guess on some level, I guess she could see that this was a serious thing between us.
Yeah.
And she already loved you more than the person I was with for 7 years.
Yeah, well, we did hit it off very nicely, I think.
Yeah.
Like I talk a lot. I can't stop myself talking, and she's not a boring person, or she's not too old, and she actually has a lot of nice things to say and like interesting things to say. And I genuinely have fun with your parents. Like I'm interested in talking with them.
My dad likes you too, by the way.
Yeah, it's just like the whole whole of your family, your sister, like everyone is nice, and like it really warms my heart that they are so respectful, and they never said anything bad.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah. So even if it was bad, and even if sometimes someone doesn't accept you immediately, sometimes you just need to give a little time. My dad wasn't that great at first too. He didn't understand what's going on and stuff.
Yeah.
But it took him time to get used to the idea.
Yeah.
Like every time I can speak to him more and more about things.
Yeah, I can tell. So do you want to talk about how you realised your gender?
Yeah, so during the first lockdown, well, the gender thing was always there, because I was very like a butch At the time, I was thinking of myself as butch lesbian. But the thing is, I at one point did think I might be trans man. Might want to transition to a man. But again, it didn't feel right to call myself a man. That kind of a thing, and I just like, that's just stupid, and I brushed it off and like, no, just not that.
Yeah.
And I just went back to my things. And during lockdown, I had a lot of time. So by that time, I've been wearing a binder, just binder for like probably 4 years now. And when I got it, I was a bit scared that my partner at the time wouldn't understand me. Because wearing a binder would mean that I want to be trans.
Yeah.
And when she saw it, she was like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't like my boobs, and I want to like look like flatter with clothes on and stuff." And she was quite okay. Like, she got used to the idea, and she didn't mention it again.
Do you think on some level that she still wasn't comfortable with it?
I think she wasn't comfortable with it. But
For how long?
For the whole time.
Oh no.
Like, she got used to that thing. She never gave me anything, but like, I don't know. I don't think she... Well, the fact is, if you're a lesbian and if you're attracted to women, your brain would get fried if you love someone or like someone and they suddenly tell you, "No, I'm not a woman, I'm a man now."
Yeah.
And then you would think like, whoa, wait, well, I like that person, I love that person.
Yeah.
And then I shouldn't be attracted to them. And I think it gives your brain a bit of a overload, and like,
because
it's
you
just
suddenly
like,
feel like you have to evaluate your attraction. What am I attracted to now?
yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but during lockdown, I had a lot of time, and I've spent a lot of time on Reddit and YouTube and all kinds of stuff. And I did have a lot of time to think about things, and I was just coming across a lot of like non-binary people on Reddit and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just started to question myself, like, am I actually a woman? Am I actually, like, what's going on with me and stuff?
Yeah.
So I started to... I think I followed, like, a non-binary subreddit or something, and like just started to Googling terms and, like, labels and queerness and what everything means, like, all the labels, what they mean, and just, like... try things out. And again, just asked myself, if I'm not a woman, am I a man? And then non-binary came along, and I was like, am I in the middle? Am I on the side? What am I? Am I genderless? Like, what do I want from myself?
Yeah.
And because the fact is, before lockdown, I was feeling that I have to fit in a box. So because I was butch and I wanted to be masc, I was forcing myself to be like those old bad stereotypical manly things.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to take care of certain parts of yourself because men don't put cream on their skin. That kind of a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I don't have to do that. And I just like, my skin was dry, I want to put some cream on it. It's just like stupid, silly things, stupid, small things.
These stupid things of what it means to be
a man,
what it means, like, to be a woman.
Yeah, so a man, like, I didn't want to be a man, but I wanted to look more masc. Yeah. Which in my head was this man's box that you have to fit in. And I was just basically just getting out of another box again.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa.
Fuck boxes.
Yeah, just like, whoa, another thing. And I was just very scared. I had these friends at the time as well, and I was like really scared to come out, really. Like, say anything to them. So I told one of them, and she was very supportive, but she was more, she still, I think she still thought that I'm more like a man, that I want to be trans man, not non-binary. And yeah, like, she did understand, not like she did support me and stuff, and then the
Yeah.
other friend as well, they did support me and stuff. That was like my coming out to them. But at the time I was still questioning it heavily. I still wasn't saying I'm non-binary, like fully confident.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. I was still like, am I non-binary, am I trans, like on that, still like, is it the stop, like final stop, or is it just another step to something else?
Yeah.
You know, that
like,
kind of thing.
Like when people say that bisexual people are just, it's like a gateway before
Yeah,
you
yeah,
realise that
kinda,
you're
yeah.
just gay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I met you.
Hey.
So I met you around, I think it was a month after I started properly.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh.
When I properly invested my time in researching things and like discovering things properly. So my friends already knew, but when I met you, you thought, like, I didn't tell you that I was non-binary because I still didn't know. Didn't tell you anything. I think you didn't ask about my gender.
No, but
You were just confused as well, as much as I was.
all I knew was I was attracted to you.
I didn't. Bisexuals be like.
So I saw your pictures on Tinder, and I was thinking, is she just gay? Are they trans? I don't know. All I know is they are sexy. So I hit that. I swiped right. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah. So I think it was like few weeks in.
Yeah.
We were watching something, I think, and just I don't remember exactly how we started talking about it. And I just started talking about it. You were there to listen, and I was just started talking about it, and I just talked it out and worked it out. In like 5 minutes, I just said everything, and I was just like, wait. And you just said, I think you just came out.
Yeah.
I think you just came out and figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it just made sense to you. I could see that
Yeah.
relief on your face.
Yeah.
I saw the weight come off your shoulders. I saw that shift in happiness in that moment.
Yeah.
You ever see that in people?
Yeah.
I saw that in you.
I saw that in you when you figured out the other thing.
Are we talking about that now?
I don't. Do you want to talk about that?
Maybe a little bit, because it's still very new.
So just say it now.
I'm gender flux.
Yeah, when you found out, that picture with the switch and with the slider on,
Yeah.
You cried.
I did. I hadn't even finished reading that thing.
you
So this was someone, people just take screenshots of tweets and stuff. This was a screenshot of a post on Tumblr. And it was just a little information thing about the difference between gender flux and gender fluid.
If you want to see it, we have it on Instagram, I believe.
Somewhere in our feed, yeah. So the idea is that a gender flux person is like a light switch with a dimmer. The colour of the light bulb is the same colour, it never changes, but because there's a dimmer on the switch, you can make the light more intense or more dull. It still stays the same colour though. That's gender flux, which means it's still the same gender, but the intensity of that gender can change over time. And that was how I grew up most of my life, being a tomboy but still knowing I'm a girl.
Yeah.
It just made me very confused. There were times growing up where I thought, am I trans? Am I just a gay man in a straight woman's body? Again, the black and white thing.
Well, that's
being
the
gay
thing,
and
yeah.
straight.
Yeah, that's the thing with this country. At least you knew that these things exist.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I knew what the word gay and lesbian is.
Yeah.
But these things, I'm saying things because at that time I've never knew one, I've never seen one, and it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
And everyone told you it was a bad thing. You use those words to insult someone.
Yeah.
So...
Are you okay?
Yeah, so for you knowing that when you were a kid It's very helpful. Even
Yeah.
if you are straight and cis, you know it's not bad and you know those people exist already. That's why for Lithuania, it's so hard to accept people that are suppressed because you never see them, and any news you know about them is bad things. So that's why it's so hard for the country to flip, to see bigger picture, that it's not something evil. It's just people like everyone else, just with a different orientation or gender. Yeah.
And somehow we're back to talking about Lithuania.
Yeah, no. We're back to talking about me. Yeah, so I saw that on your face.
Yeah.
That relief and how good it is to finally put that label on.
Yeah. That was about 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was.
This is a very new thing.
Yeah.
The difference is with this is I don't feel the need to come out.
Yeah, it's not like you don't have to come out, and if you want people to know, you tell. If even I'm as non-binary, I don't feel like all the people should know. I know like representation matters and we should do that more often, but sometimes I feel like it's easier to just, like, if I know that I won't see that person again, I don't want them to know ins and outs of my life, basically. So when I came out to you as non-binary, no one else knew except my friends and you. So like 3 people.
Yeah.
And I was I started work after that the first lockdown and stuff, and I came back and all that. And I was still, even though I knew I'm non-binary, I was still exploring myself and like, how should I present myself and all that kind of things. I still am. And we I always hated my name because it's Lithuanian name. It was Lithuanian name.
It's a very feminine name.
It's feminine because Lithuanian is a feminine, the very gendered language.
Yeah.
So everything's male or female. Mm-hmm. So that name was very female, and I always hated it. It's hard for British people or English people, even Polish people, to say it properly. So it was always butchered. Like 90% of the time that name was butchered. Oops.
And that's how you were given such an English nickname at work.
So I gave myself...
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, I gave myself a nickname Meg, because it was close to what my name was at the time. And people it was easier for people to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hated that too, because that's femme as well. So I told you that I don't like my name.
Yeah.
Even though you practiced so much and nailed my name, nailed pronouncing my name, and you had to unlearn it.
Basically, yeah.
So I told you, and because you weren't working at the time, you just did a huge research. Because I said
that huge.
No, but you just put some time in it.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, I want my name to start with the same letter because I like my name's first letter. Mm-hmm. And I said, I want that kind of a name. And I did come some few names myself, and I was just... I was a bit scared to change my name as well, because you have to tell people, and it's a headache. It was scary. It wasn't that easy. But I knew that I need to change it to be someone happier. Yeah. And you found few names. The one time I came by yours.
I think I can kind of remember the other ones that I came up with. It was like...
there was Mila, Mika.
Yeah. I think those were the 3 main ones.
Yeah.
And you instantly didn't like Mila because it was...
my friend's cat.
Yeah.
Micah is like a Russian word for best stop.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did you tell me that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm just being stupid then.
Yeah.
And you were drawn to the name Mika.
And I was like, Mika sounds... The thing is, everyone knows Mika, an artist, Mika.
The singer.
The singer. Everyone knows him. Most of the people knows him.
We love Mika,
I love him. Like, I love him since I was... since Relax came out.
I've loved him since Grace Kelly.
Or Grace Kelly. Yeah. I found him by that song, and then I found the rest of the songs. And I was like 12 or 11 by that time. And I was just like loving it since then. And at some point, I just knew that I liked that name like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then I used to play a lot of football, Pro Evolution Soccer. And a lot of people don't like it because they like FIFA, but let's not get into that. So you can play become a legend.
Yeah.
And it's like you just one player playing in a team. So you're controlling only one player and you can choose his name and all that kind of things. And my go-to name, because it was a bit similar to my dead name.
Yeah.
I used to play as Miku.
Ah.
For years. Like 5-6 years I was playing as Miku. Yep.
Okay.
And then you showed me Mika. And I was like, I like it. I always liked it. That was the name. I knew that was... And then I was like, okay, what does it mean? And there's no secret that I love raccoons. And turns out in Native American...
Well, I'm not sure which language in which tribe, but some Native American culture, yes.
Yeah, they had this name and it meant wise little raccoon. And I took it as a big sign and I said...
Huge sign.
And I just said, yeah, that must be me.
Yeah.
I'm a raccoon. Yeah, so that's how I just started to... I asked you to call me that, I asked my friends to call me that, and it just stick.
Oh, then we found you dug out a high-vis jacket that you had made for work, and it had your dead name on it. And as a ritual to represent the burning of that name, we burnt it in the barbecue pit in your garden.
If you listening and want to see that video, PM or voice message or whatever, and maybe we'll show it on Instagram.
Nice exclusive just for you.
Yeah.
Send it in your DMs.
Yeah. Yeah, then after that, I liked that name and I did it officially. We burned the thing. We got the deed poll. You signed as a witness for me.
I actually completely forgot about the deed poll.
Yeah, and
it is your official name.
I did that officially, and I went to work and told my bosses, my managers, and I asked my manager to tell everyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, the people actually were very good. I didn't came out as non-binary to people because I don't think they need to know yet. Because most of the people who don't know what non-binary is and stuff, and I feel like me telling them would complicate things even more, not for them but for me.
Yeah.
And I think it will just require more time for me to feel comfortable with myself to actually explain to others.
Yeah.
Because now I can still... Someone's question could still break me in the middle and I'll be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not, and all that kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah. So I didn't came out to a lot of people yet. But that's journey to come.
Yeah. It's a long process.
It is.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Should we leave this then? Are we done?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
I'm done. Are you done?
I think I'm done too.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Non-Binary Show.
You can follow and message us on Instagram at non.bi.neri, where we post mostly queer memes, but we occasionally share stuff from our personal lives too.
You can also send us a voice message on Anchor at anchor.fm non-binary. That's a one word, no dots. Send us a voice message and you might be in our next episode.
See you next time. Bye.